All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. 20 minutes here, just a product overview of the TD Pilot. So I'd like to introduce you to our new eye tracking hardware. I wanted to just show you a little bit of the overview of our eye tracking hardware. I think the exciting part of the TD Pilot is it now offers a platform, the iOS operating platform, access through it through eye gaze. Tobii Dynavox, we believe very strongly in providing the platform that's going to work best for you, best support the classroom, the school, your family, whatever it is that is supporting a communicator. So here are a series of hardware options. You can come over to the booth and see all of these as well there. So let's start with the TD Pilot here. So it is an iPadOS-based speech generating device with eye tracking capabilities. This system is new in that it provides access to the iPadOS platform through eye gaze. It also can be controlled with touch access as well. So one of the unique features of this is the TD Pilot is MFI certified. And that means it's made for iPad, specifically made for iPad. TD Pilot provides native integration of eye tracking in the iPadOS platform. And it's been certified to meet Apple performance standards. And I think why that's important is that as this technology will continue to grow, any updates that Apple has, this technology will come right along with it. We worked very closely with Apple to make sure that it was a product that supported their software as well. The Pilot is purpose-built, so it is built for communication, computer access. It's an all-in-one system. Just a little bit about the specs. It weighs 4.4 pounds, has a 12.9-inch display, a front-facing camera. It's in the protective base, which is called the Pilot base. So that's the protective case that the iPad is put into. The eye tracker is mounted into the Pilot base, so it's an all-in-one unit. It has a 10-hour battery life, and it uses the Tobii Dynavox eye tracker, the same that's in the i series, the PCI. It's the same eye tracker that's now in the Pilot. Just a few features about the back of it. I think a couple of the really important features, of course, is that partner window. That partner window was introduced in the i13, i16 series, and it's just been an amazing feature to have more of a face-to-face conversation. My friend Alex had ALS, and I'll tell you, he had one of our older units before he transferred up to one of these newer ones. And boy, I was always looking over his shoulder and around. He was in bed most of the time. And so it just really made such a dynamic difference when I could just stand there face to face and anything, just watch as he was creating messages. Also, when he really started using eye gaze was kind of when COVID first started, right around 2 years ago. So it was nice that I didn't have to keep leaning into him to see around. So that partner window is just one of the best features. Then, of course, the built-in speakers. Really nice. The speakers are the same from our i series as well as this, so really loud, can be heard in all environments. What I don't have here is on the side. On the side, it has just one power port, which is nice. So just one plug plugs it in, plugs the Pilot base as well as the iPad at the same time. It will charge both options. Unique to the TD Pilot is a software called the CoPilot app. Now, we don't have sound right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and talk through narration on this video. The CoPilot app is pre-installed, and what it does is it allows for the calibration, battery checks. It allows you to get the support manuals right online. All calibration settings can be customized, so different points number of points for calibration. Let's see if the video is working here. So this is how the calibration works. A little window comes up just at the start to give you an introduction of what calibration is. There's the track window, the track status window, which is very similar, exactly the same as what you've seen in our I series or the PCI. So you can write within the CoPilot app. You find out your track status. There's also a button on the back of the device, part of the Pilot base, that will open up the track status window right away. So when you're working to get someone in their optimal position, you can just go ahead and when they've moved from the bed to a chair or to another setting, just right away make sure that they are in the optimal position and the tracker is reading their eyes. Here's the calibration. This is a 5-point calibration. You just look at the dots and they explode. That's going to give you the calibration you need. You can then go ahead and customize any points by hitting the Improve Targets button. This is all accessible through eye gaze, so the individual can do their customization, improve their targets as well, all on their own. You choose the targets that you want to improve. We think sometimes people chase that calibration, that perfect calibration, a little bit too much. If you get a calibration, you are good to go and really start using it. I think there's a little bit of a myth out there that we have to have this perfect calibration in all points, and you just don't, to still have really good accuracy and precision. We have a little test here where these dots come up and allows you to just do a little precision test. It just follows your eyes, and you can look in these targets and find out if your calibration is good enough to get started. The settings allow you to determine calibration points. Shows you the battery level of both the iPad and the Pilot base. You do need to turn off both the iPad and the Pilot base. Sometimes you forget to do that. So this will let you know, saying, hey, you forgot to turn off the base. You turned off the pad, but you didn't turn off the base. Allows you to track both eyes or one or the other eye. And then the step-through scanning, which can be really important for individuals who are struggling with scanning. We have two communication options with the TD Pilot. We have TD Talk, and then we have TD Snap. You can download these right now to your iPad, TD Snap or TD Talk, which is our new communication software built specifically for the progressive user, someone who's going to use it for eye gaze. You can download it for free to your own iPad by just going into the App Store, typing in TD Talk, and you can download it for free. That's going to be used for an adult who is literate, and that's what that's for. Really a nice transition software for someone who is able to use their hands at the start and maybe will be moving to an eye gaze supported device in the future. It's a great way to start using a software right now that they can move forward with as their access method changes. So the unique part about TD Talk, not sure what I was saying. I was hoping I'm saying talk the whole time. TD Talk was designed specifically for eye gaze users. We had a bunch of beta testers who were using it, adults with ALS or another progressive issue, and they were really helped with getting us to make us software that looks relatively simple so that they can just jump in and start using right away. It is not overly developed with features so that it has one mission right now: hit the ground running with communication. There's already been an update, so if you have downloaded TD Talk to your software, to your iPad, all of those updates will just be pushed through every time we release something. release something. It'll just be pushed through to your hardware. If you download it to your device, since your iPad is not eye gaze enabled, only touch will be the access method that's available at that time. Really nice features with this that are fairly unique that I think are just great. It has the word prediction, which is seen in almost all software, but the phrase prediction, I don't know when it happened, but when we start typing out emails now, you're going to see that sort of inline phrase prediction. It kind of grayed out, and it shows you some stuff. That's what's being utilized right in here. So there's no longer a phrase button that's going to take up space. This prediction just happens right within the message window. So if you see the phrase prediction you want, you just look at it with your gaze, and that will access it and put it right into the window. If not, you just keep on typing like we do right now with that prediction. Really a powerful feature for efficiency. We have some inline or in-place editing, really nice. If you look now, that message window can increase to 4 lines. So you got a big, nice window once you start doing text that's more than 1 line. And to edit, you kind of edit in place. You just look right at the word you want to edit, and just a little editing menu comes up that allows you to delete the word, change the word, move the cursor back or forth. Really nice features with this inline editing. Really exciting. No new window to come up. You just look at the word you want to change, and this editing feature just pops right up. Really seamless. Multiple language options. If you see in the lower left-hand corner, you see the picture of the globe. You can have 6 languages that just come up for immediate change right there to a new language, a new voice, and a new keyboard. Now it has about, I'm going to say somewhere around 30 languages. We can come over to the booth and check the website that it's ready to go for, but you can highlight up to 6. That is just really a one-button hit. Open up the language menu, change to Spanish, and now you have the Spanish voice with the Spanish keyboard, and you can just switch between languages very quickly, very easy. No getting into the software and having to do any work that way. And that's just ready to go from the start. Now, TD Snap might be something that you're already familiar with. It does have different page sets. I think initially it was designed to be our symbol-based supports for kids learning language, using picture symbols to support language. Works perfectly on the TD Pilot. But there are additional page sets. There's a text-based page set for adults who want to use that, who are text users as well. So TD Snap kind of runs the gamut of offerings. But we have some kids starting to use the Pilot and using Snap on there, and it's working just perfect. Really a nice system. What's really interesting between the software is our region-based interaction. Now, this is a programming tool, I guess, and Tobii Dynavox utilizes it for any of their software. What that is it actually, the programmers create sort of a larger target around the buttons within the software. TD Talk, TD Snap. What that program does, that region-based interaction, it makes your eye gaze just spot on. This region that they program sort of around the button, they'll take a little area around the button so they have a larger target. Once your eyes anywhere in that target, it just drags that little red dot right in the middle, and you are just spot on. The region-based interaction is a really great programming support that allows someone for improved precision and accuracy. Since we don't have sound right now, I'm just going to go ahead and jump through that video. But there is this little video that we have online, or come over to the booth and we can show you about region-based interaction. And then finally, I think is the unique feature of the TD Pilot is being able to access those apps that come with the iPad that we all use, and now being able to access them through eye gaze. That is one of the unique features of the TD Pilot, and really one of the things people want to explore. They've been using all of these apps, and now they want to see how they can continue using them, or kids, and that they can start having access to all these apps. The way you do it this access method is using Assistive Touch. Assistive Touch is a built-in menu by Apple. You know, when this came out or I started learning about it when it was in development, I thought Assistive Touch, oh, neat, something new. Assistive Touch has been around for a long time. Apple introduced Assistive Touch to our iPhones, our iPads. Boy, I think I saw some videos describing it back in the early 90s. So it's something that's been around a long time. I just did not know about it, I guess, because I didn't need to know it. So it's very helpful, initially used to help support people with their touch. But this menu is utilized to support eye gaze. So once you leave our software and you enter the world of the apps and the platform of the iOS in the iPad, you're going to use Assistive Touch as the method, the menu, to be able to do all of the mouse functions that you want. Assistive Touch is, this menu is completely customizable. So you can choose how many functions you want on this menu. You can choose the functions that you want. All of this is a part of Apple. They've created Assistive Touch. We are using it, and we can access it through eye gaze. So all of this can be accessed through eye gaze as well. Now I'll show a little video next that just shows how you would use Assistive Touch to check the weather. But there's two things here. You're going to see the pointer. The pointer is just going to be that little gray dot that's going to be following your eyes as we look through this video coming up. And then there's a button, this Assistive Touch menu button. You can move it around the screen. So sometimes you need to move it in other corners to get it out of the way. And this Assistive Touch menu is fully accessible, so you can move it around the screen where you need to. But this is how you access your mouse functionality. Let me go ahead and start this video, and I'll just narrate through it. So maybe you can see the little gray dot moving along the icons on the home menu here.
Our second prize is provided by Optics.
This is the pointer. And we're going to go down and launch Safari. So now I just hold my gaze, dwell my gaze on the Safari icon. It opens up Safari. I'm just going to click right within the menu window. And now the keyboard will pop up. I'm going to type in weather. And I'm going to go ahead and just utilize the shortcut. Now I want to scroll down. So I open up my Assistive Touch menu. I hit the scroll button. Select scroll down. And now I just hold my gaze anywhere on the screen, and I can scroll down. Assistive Touch is how we access all of those features that's going to allow us to get into those apps. The default is a, I forget what they call it, but it's called a tap, and it's really just like a left click. So the default is always going to be a tap. You can change that, but always you can just look around. Now we're opening up the Assistive Touch menu, and we want to switch to the different apps. So we utilize App Switcher, and there we go. We can jump right back into our software. This is our TD Talk software, and we can start to communicate. Let's just finish up here. The last part, we sort of talk about communicating without limits. Just like our other eye trackers, this one has the outdoor eye tracking ability as well built into the hardware. So it allows you to use eye tracking in sunny and very light conditions that happen outside. And that is standard across all of our eye tracking hardware. Come over to our booth. You can check out on our website, the Learning Hub, where we have all sorts of videos about the TD Pilot. We break down the Assistive Touch menu. We have little micro videos on all the different tools that are a part of that you might want to utilize during your work with the TD Pilot. All right. Thank you very much.